little champions, how are you all? I hope that you are doing wonderful, and I welcome you all to day 2 of 99% in 99 days series. And today we are going to talk about the science study plan. So all my children who are very much enthusiastic about science just like me, gather up here, and this video is not for content formation, things like that. No, it's for your help. Okay, so the maximum possible ways in which we can help you, we are doing that. And over here I'll be telling you about how many days and everything you should be allocating for each chapter, and I would be also giving you week wise timetable of what chapters you should be picking up in the week of November and December and everything. Okay, where can you download the question papers from, lots of details just for science. So for mathematics there will be another video coming up, or you might have already got it, but yes, that is there. Okay, so are you ready, children? Let's see how many months do we have. First of all, November is there, December is there, January is there. So I cannot actually say January is there because January you have your pre-boards from Sahodia. But yes, assuming that we have November and December as a whole, even though there might be a chance that one pre-board might be happening in November, you still have time. That's what I believe. Okay, chalo. First thing, analyze your midterm scores, just like how we did in the other video. We have to analyze our scores. For science, out of 60, if you are someone who got 64 plus marks, that means your subject knowledge is really good. Not just subject knowledge, your writing practice, everything is kind of showing up. It is strong. Okay, if you are someone who scored between 40 and 63, children, you can put it as moderate level of preparation. I won't say you did strong level of preparation. This is a moderate level of preparation. So do not call yourself weak, moderate. No, we'll say the level of preparation is moderate or strong or weak. Okay. Now, if you are someone who scored below 40, I would say you had a weak level of preparation. So first thing, you have to analyze your midterm scores. When you analyze your midterm scores, you analyze your mistakes as well that you probably might have done in this. So every PTM, when I used to be as an offline teacher and I used to teach them, in every PTM they used to come and sit in front of me and say and listen to me very carefully. I wish that they could have heard me properly even every day when I spoke to them in the class. So this happens, children. This, even when I was a student, I used to also go sit like that. This is a vicious circle we are in. It's fine, but right now it's time to rectify all our mistakes. So please understand your mistakes when the teacher is telling that Jasmine, you didn't write this particular answer properly, you should have made it in points. Probably I would have given you step marking for mathematics or whatever subject. As of now I'm talking about science, so probably if you had balanced the equation correctly in the chemical equation, then probably I would have given you marks. Or if you would have drawn neatly and labeled proper things, then I would have given you marks. So these things are important. The small details could cost you marks, which is obviously very, very important. And when your goal is to, it's not the short term goal, your goal is a long term goal, so we have to look for that. Now, the first step for acing things is, just a second, knowing the syllabus. Please, there are some people even now, the pre-boards have just got over or might be starting, they might not know the syllabus. Children, it's the right time to know the syllabus and also your marking scheme. Okay, so what does knowing your syllabus help you with? Listen, if you know your syllabus well, you know the key topics, okay, you know the essential topics that could give you marks. If you're not aware about that, you're just learning everything. Is that important, children? No. Again, next thing, prioritizing high weightage chapters. If you know your syllabus, it's not just about topic, it's about chapters also. There are certain chapters which gives you more number of questions. So you will be able to analyze that, and now also it would help you avoid irrelevant content. So there are certain children who study the deleted chapters and they come. That is also really, really wrong. So you have to be mindful about the syllabus. You should know about the syllabus and you should be arranging them. I hope you did the homework. Okay, you should be arranging the chapters in the order of priority. Okay, for that you have to go through certain sample papers, then only you would be able to arrange. Because in boards they have not given you the marking scheme like that. They have given you units marking scheme, not chapter wise marking scheme. So that does not count really. So you should be the person who should be going to reading sample papers and analyzing that, and according to your weakness, according to your strength, you should be prioritizing chapters. But I will say high weighted chapters, even though you're strong, even though if you're weak, you should be prioritizing them first, then you should go for other chapters. Okay, now that's about knowing the syllabus. What about the marking scheme? So CBSE has released something like this. Let's see. So the theory my tongue is getting twisted. So theory gives you 80 marks, Okay, in theory, you have different demonstrate knowledge and understanding 46%, application of knowledge and concepts 22%, formulate, analyze, evaluate, create 32%, total 100% of questions are coming from them. Okay, now the thing is, 80 marks is given with the help of your theory. You get it from the theory. Okay, now rest 20 marks comes from your periodic assessment, 5 plus 5 marks, okay, 10 marks. Subject enrichment, as in the practical work, gives you 5 marks, and portfolio also give you 5 marks. So this is something that is within your hand and something that is easy also. It is easy to score. Please give your best over here. I think you might have already done, but portfolio and practical work might still be left. Please put your efforts into that and do that. That does not mean you have to complete all the practical work like at the last moment. If you still have time, use 1 hour day time, okay, and continuously write everything and finish it off. Do not keep it for the last moment, okay, and see it according to the teachers who are there. Talk to them and understand the necessity and go accordingly, okay. But this is something that is also in your hands. I said that only this is in your hands. No, children, this is also in your hands, and this is majorly in your hands, because if you give your 100%, scoring 80 is not a big deal. If you give your 100%, scoring 80 is like this, and you would be able to do that. But understand, it's out of 80 marks. Rest 20 marks comes from all this thing. It is easily scorable. Your school might give you if you are a good student. So be a good child and complete all your works. Be respectful towards teachers, elders, and everyone. Okay, and wonders would happen. That's what I try to tell you. Now going ahead, know the syllabus part of it. Okay, so these are the number of chapters that you have from chapter 1 to chapter 13. Okay, now I am going to segregate them. Okay, this is for chemistry. For chemistry you have 4 chapters, my dear children. For chemistry you have 4 chapters. For physics you have 4 chapters. For biology you have 5 chapters, and which is why usually biology and one more subject will be there, which would be having equal weightage, and there will be one more subject which might be having low weightage, depending on what. It could be chemistry or physics, but biology anyways would be having high weightage. Okay, and for example, if this is of 27 marks, that will also, someone among them will also be 27 marks, another will be a bit less than that. Okay, so you should be knowing that. Please do not, because obviously 5 chapters are there, so you should be knowing it. Okay, so any other chapter if you see in your NCERT, please understand that it's deleted, it's not there. You just have 13 chapters, please 4, and you have 5. Okay, please remember that. Now if you are someone who are not able to understand, take a screenshot. It's not a problem, do that. Okay, now you have known the syllabus. Now the second thing that you have to do is set achievable targets. Okay, it's said that having a timetable is not a big thing. Some people, they just do not follow the timetable after making colorful timetable and stuff like that. The most important thing is having a daily target. Have a daily target of finishing one particular chapter. For example, I want to finish chemical reactions and equations today. So today's target is that if I focus on that, I would be able to finish that. If I see, okay, in a timetable I have so many days left for finishing of a chapter, that would be really bad for me, because I might delay the whole process and it might delay some other process that is allocated to it. So basically we need to set achievable targets. And what is the use of setting the achievable targets? First thing, tracking increasing productivity. So clear goals gives direction, makes study sessions more focused and efficient. So if you have a clear goal, you'll be like, okay, I have to just work on that, I'll be working on that, and I'll be more focused on that. Okay, progress, it allows you to measure what you have accomplished. So for example, I have set a goal that is, I have to finish chemical equations today. I would be able to know that. I would be able to track my progress, how far I have come. So if I have multiple days for that, it might be a very lengthy procedure. I might not be able to track it, and sometime I might lose track of it also. I might just jump on other chapter. If I have a goal, I'll try to finish it up. Now it also boosts your confidence. Why, children? When in chemical equations, okay, this chapter you have completed halfway and then halfway is left, that motivates you, right? So obviously setting an achievable target is really important. And according to it, I have asked other teachers. So I am someone who teaches biology. Okay, so I might have knowledge in chemistry and physics, but I have asked other teachers who teach chemistry and physics 2. What is the minimum days required to complete these chapters that I have mentioned over here? So for chemistry, I'll say metals and non-metals requires just 2 days. Okay, so finish the chapter within 2 days. And it's not like teachers are finishing it within 2 days. No, children, it's for students only. Obviously, you guys might have studied something until this time. Now you have a November month that is ongoing. You have your exams coming. So you might have got some idea of things, obviously. So I'll say metals and non-metals require just 2 days. Don't think that it is not impossible. Don't think that it is impossible. It is not impossible. It is possible. Okay, sometimes I get confused. Chemical reactions and equations requires 3 days. Carbon and its compound requires 3 days. Acid, bases and salts requires 3 days. So think, if you are thinking like, oh ma'am, what are you saying? It's obviously not going to finish within 2 days. It's a stupid thing that you are saying. No, children, I'm telling you, try it out. Try it out. Why? What's the use of setting 5 days on a chapter? Don't you think that for 3 days you will waste your time? For the last 2 days that is left, probably you will be studying in that particular time. If you set a proper goal of 2 days, you will try your best to finish things up within those 2 days. So this should be your target for chemistry. Okay, going ahead, we have physics. So light, reflection and refraction would need 3 days. Electricity will require 2 days. Magnetic effects of electric current will require 2 days. Human eye and the colorful world again requires 2 days. So there are not so many questions coming from this, but yes, you have to follow. We never know when the question pattern and everything would get changed, but this is what you have to follow. Cool. I was talking about this chapter, not about physics. Okay, from physics you get questions. So yes, so this is the minimum day that you should be having. Please have that in your mind. Okay, now next thing. Okay, and one more thing, if you want the PPT, the PDF of this, you can tell us in the comment section. We would be giving you also. Fine. So next is biology. That's my subject, so I know how many days do you require. So life process is a very long chapter. Okay, I'll give you 3 days for that. Okay, control and coordination, it is not long, but sometimes it becomes a bit difficult and dragging, which is why I gave 3 days, but you can complete in 2 days as well. Okay, if you divide into 2 parts, that is control and coordination in animals, that is for 1 day, control and coordination in plants, another 1 day, so 2 days it can be finished. Heredity, it's a very important chapter. Just half part of the chapter is there, evolution is not there. So still, it is a very scoring part. So I'll say 2 days for the small part. It's very important. Try out questions. That is important. I'll tell you about all the subjects. What are the important topics that you should be definitely not missing out. How do organisms reproduce? Again, a big chapter. So 2 days. Our environment, I don't think it's worthy of going beyond 1 day. So just be limited to just 1 day. That's all. Okay. So this is for biology. Works? Chalo. Going ahead, how to master a chapter? When I say that you have to study chapter, you have to do this, how can you master a chapter? Okay, first process, read the chapter from NCERT. So I would say, I have already said this in the other video, that if you think at this point of time you are someone who is not understanding NCERT, you can rather go for one-shot videos first. Open one short video, put it in 2x speed, listen to it, then come back to NCERT and read it. But do not miss reading the NCERT. NCERT is a must, you have to read it anyhow. Assertion and reason questions come directly from the lines of NCERT. So watch one shot videos in 2x speeds and come read the NCERT. Okay, it's very much important. Now after you are done with reading the NCERT, when you are done with the page, make an outline of it in pointers. That is the next step that you are having. You have to do not write a paragraph about it, children. Here there is no one who will come and read, nor you nor me, no one will come and read that. So what you have to do is, for example, life processes, one page I read. What page? The page that has digestion in amoeba, nutrition in amoeba. Okay, so in that the cuscuta part is there at the above, heterotrophic nutrition, and this is there. I just write in points that heterotrophic nutrition is basically nutrition from other organisms. Okay, over here I have example as ectoparasite, endoparasite. Endoparasite is tapeworm, ectoparasite is leech, cuscuta, things done. Okay, then I come to amoeba. Amoeba has ingestion, then digestion, then absorption, assimilation and ingestion. Just write what is in there. In ingestion, food is taken up. Okay, with the help of pseudopodia. Write the key points. Food taken up, pseudopodia. Okay, then in the case of digestion, lysosome, with food vacuole, food breakdown, khatam. Don't go writing things there. It's for you to understand. So just make it in pointers. Don't use so many colors and things like that. You do not have time for that. So just make an outline of the pointers. You can use this a day before the exam starts. Okay, when your exam comes at that point of time, you can use these pointers to have a quick read of things. That is the use of this. Okay, now next thing, mark the things which you are not able to understand at all. There might be certain things that you are not able to understand. Mark it. Invest time for it later on. If you are getting stuck at one place, so I was one person who was just like this. If I am not able to understand things, I was not able to move forward beyond that. And I used to go research and I used to spend so much time. I'm not saying it's bad, but I realized that it was taking too much of time for me. Sometimes certain topics are there which if you have not studied, you cannot go forward. That topics you need to obviously cover. But if you think that towards the end of the chapter or somewhere, there are certain topics which is not of much use, you can put a star mark, come back to it again when you have time. Okay, that does not mean you should not come back again ever. You should be coming back, revisiting it and solving your doubt as well. Okay. Next thing. Use your 5 minutes for active recall of the content learned. So whenever you study, children, whenever you study a chapter or anything, you have to use 5 minutes to actively recall things. Actively recalling things does not mean you are taking the notes down, the pointers that you have written, and you are trying to revisit everything that you have learned. No. It means that you are sitting at a space or standing at a place, whatever, you are just thinking what all you studied. Okay, this is what I studied, and then ingestion, digestion, and this happened, or probably teaching that to someone else, your siblings which are there. Anyways, you torture them every now and then. Why not torture them with some knowledge? Okay, so you can do that. Also, this is known as active recall. You're actively making your brain participate in the process of learning. That is important. Okay, now next thing, use the last 30 minutes for solving questions. Now solving questions, I'll stress on it like 10,000 times. Solving questions is important, 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 important. Why? Because it gives you, that's the next slide about, I think. Okay, solving questions basically gives you an idea of the type of questions that could come. It helps you practice writing, and writing is very much important in boards, children. It is very much important in boards. Why? I'll tell you again. Because suppose I'm a biology teacher. I have got the science paper for correction. I do not know anything about chemistry and physics, suppose. What will happen? Should I not give marks for your things that you have written extra? What will I do? Basically, this teacher, that is me, would be getting a blueprint of the answers. Like, if this is written, give half marks. If this is written, give half marks. That is the thing. So I'll just mix and match and see that, okay, is it matching? I should give them half marks. If you are writing the whole paragraph Ramayana over there, you won't be getting marks. As simple as that. Be point specific, write it properly, and don't write unwanted stuffs there. Okay, because some teacher might be correcting and they might not be in a good mood as well, we do not know. But anyways, it's not just about mood, it's about writing apt things. So make your paper presentable, and for making your paper presentable, you have to have a writing practice, and for having a writing practice, you should be solving questions. So this question solving is very much important, okay, to do that. This is how you can master a chapter, and I told you the days that you have allocated for each chapter. Now, going ahead, as I said, watch one-shot videos instead of NCERT. So, doing this first and then do this first. But you have to read the NCERT. Okay. Now, practice questions without fail, I told you. Write down certain repeated questions from 2, 3, 4, 5 category. Now, this is something that I had told in the previous video again. Listen to me carefully. So, you should be having a notebook for your science and some other subject, English or some other social science, whatever. Okay. In this notebook, have a proper area for like a chapter, for example, life processes. Now, in every science paper, no, you get 2 marker, 3 marker, 4 marker and 5 marker question. Fine. So, you should be knowing what type of questions come. So, what do? Life processes, you have written 2 marker question, write the question in 2 marker. So, these are the questions that are repeated. I am not saying the question itself is repeated, the content is somewhere repeated. So, digestion, explain digestion, what happens in the mouth. Okay, that is one question. Next question is, what is the role of salivary amylase in the mouth? So that is something some other question, but still it has the same content. You get it? So write the question like that. So next time when you are revising along with the pointers, you can go through the type of questions that have come. from this topic, and you would be able to understand what topics give you the most amount of questions as well. So I'll say, while you're practicing questions, make a book like this. I'm not asking you to write the whole 3-marker question. Just write the pointers that, okay, in kidney this was asked, that water reabsorption is dependent on what. So make your own sentences and just write it, but write it is very much important. So you'll get an idea, okay, this thing have come. Do not write all things. Okay, if you see some things is repeated again and again, note them down in the notebook. Okay, don't write the answers there. Answers, you should be having a separate notebook for that. These are just question books which you can refer when your time is really less. Okay, when emergency SOS situation is there, at that point of time you can refer to this. Fine. Now this should be practice for all the subjects, but I'm telling you for science specifically now. Now, how does it help? How does question practice help you? It enhances retention, children. It reinforces your concepts. Okay, it will be making it really easy for you to recall things later on if you know the questions. Oh, this is the question that I was not able to do. This is what I did there. So this is how it will help you. It improves the speed and accuracy. So if you are someone who takes lots of time in writing. So when I was doing my MSc in zoology, okay, at that point of time I used to be a brilliant student, okay, in PG. So I had a great amount of knowledge, but the problem with me was I used to write and write. So for me it was like whatever knowledge I had in my head, I used to write it down, and that costed me my marks because I was not able to finish my paper. You get it? And that was my first semester, and today also I feel really bad about it. That first sem marks had a lot to do with my total score later on. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not that child who will be becoming sad even if you get 99%. It's not like that, children. But I'm telling you, one mistake, it could have brought a big change, right? So that is very much important. So your speed and accuracy will definitely improve if you try writing your answers. And when you try writing your answers, please make sure that you are writing your answers in points. When you are writing answers in points, children, you are showing that confidence that I know the answer very clearly, which is why I am writing in points. The people who write in paragraphs, they are afraid of showing their answers. When you write in points, it is specifically focusing on the points. You get it? And for paragraph, no one has a time to read it, so they don't give marks for it. So write in points, underline the important things. Don't go underlining what is not important, and don't do like that. Okay, I have a pen, then I'll take a black pen, then I'll underline. Don't do like that. If you have a pen, if you are running pen condition only, just do like this. It's okay. If you have time, go for pencil. But anyways, this will improve your speed and accuracy, and that is very much important. Cool? So writing practice is a must. Next thing. Where can you get the question papers from? From NCERT. You have NCERT, you have NCERT Exemplar, you have CBSE sample papers in their website. If you go, we will provide you a link, okay? So go click on science, go click on SQP, that is sample question papers. You will get a file, okay, zip file in which there will be so many question papers. You can download it and try to solve it. This is the marking scheme as well, okay? Now they have said what would you write for the answers and what would give you marks. This is what is given in the marking scheme. Okay. Apart from that, I personally recommend Oswald book. When I was a student, I used to refer to this. You can use your other references. And one very important thing, listen, this is 10th boards. This is not NEET. This is not any other entrance examination that you are going to crack. Okay. So please be limited to your NCERT. Your NCERT is important. Just go through that, my dear children. Do not have 10,000 reference books all around you. That is of no use. You're wasting your time and your money. Okay, because what happens with the references is that they give you a lot of content and you would not be able to filter things out. Which is why I am saying, watch one short videos. You'll get idea of a lot of things, that questions that might have come. Read your NCERT. If you read your NCERT, a lot more things would be clear. In your NCERT, there might be terms that you might not understand. Go and search for that. You might get some other things to remember as well. That is how the questions are framed. But please do not go outside of your NCERT to study things. Your NCERT is something that you should be referring, nothing else. So Oswald book, as I said, it is for referring to your questions. So they release sample question papers. So you can go through that for science. Okay. Works. Now next thing, the very important announcement. So children, we at Diksha are having a Diksha Scholastic Aptitude Test. If you are someone who is confused that what to do after 10th, okay, should I choose science, should I choose maths or some other field, children, there's this for you, where you have a 60-minute concept based lecture, after which you would be having an aptitude test and there will be evaluation and everything. Then someone would come and talk to you regarding what would suit you the best. So if you're someone who is interested, go click on the link and it will direct you to the page. You can fill all the things. Okay, works. Chalo. Now let's get back to the things. Okay, now have different strategy for each subject. Why you should be having different strategy for each subject? I am talking subject as in physics, chemistry and bio. Talking about PCB. Why you should be having? Because it has varied content types. Okay, physics has require more problem solving skills, chemistry involves equation and reactions, you have to remember more, while biology focus on concepts and terminology, again you have to remember more and also practice more diagrams and stuff like that. In chemistry also you have to practice equations, multiple type of equation. Okay, now different question patterns are also there. Physics often include numerical, chemistry has balanced equation and biology emphasizes on detailed explanation and diagrams. So if your concepts are not clear, you won't be able to do biology. Again, if you're if you're not able to, your concepts, if you're not cleared, don't think you can go ahead with any other subjects. That is a simple fact. If your concepts are clear, everything is good. Okay, so have different strategy for different subject, and here I have a detailed one. So for physics, what you should be having, children, you should be having a formula sheet for each chapter. Okay, do not have multiple formula sheet, have a proper normal formula sheet. Okay, pin it. Okay, the A4 side sheet, no, pin it, few of them, and then for each chapter write down the formulas. Okay, it might be helpful for you. Using these formulas, try practicing question. In some or the other time, you would be able to feed these formulas in your head when you are practicing the questions. Okay, so formula sheet should be there. Practice questions after dealing with the concept. Practice fixed number of questions without fail. So you should be having, okay, I'll be solving 30 questions now in this particular 1 hour. So if you have 2 hours for science, okay, 2 hours for science and 1 hour for physics in that, okay, 2 hours for science and in that 1 hour is for physics, use your 40 minutes or 30 minutes for question practice only. Understand the theory in the before 30 minutes. The 30 minutes that was there earlier, use the 30 minutes for understanding the concept, put it into practice in the next 30 minutes. Now revise regularly, not just theoretical revision, but try to solve questions and revise the concept. That book you remember, the question paper book that we created, try to solve that questions. It will be really helpful. Okay, now key points to remember in each chapter, that also have it. Okay, so I asked a physics teacher for you. So these are the topics that you should be definitely referring to. So in light, reflection and refraction, 50% numericals will be there and then theory. Okay, so numericals, please practice all your numericals that you have. Electricity, numericals would be based on resistors and power. Okay, you would be having questions, numerical questions on resistors and powers. Next thing, magnetic effects of electric current, you have right hand thumb rule, Fleming's left hand rule and domestic electric circuits. Please put your main focus on that. I'm not saying other things are not important, but I'm telling you the questions that are usually asked. Okay, now the human eye and the colorful world, defects, all the effects, myopia, metropia, hypermetropia, things like that. Atmospheric refraction and its applications, you have to go through that. This is for physics. Okay, as I said, these are the important topics. Apart from that also you might have things, please go through that as well. Okay, go through the sample papers and find it out for yourself. I have just given you an idea of things. Okay, now next thing, chemistry, have a sheet for different types of equation. You have displacement reaction, combustion reaction, that reaction, this reaction. So please have a sheet for that. Make mind maps for complicated chapters. When the chapter become complicated, have a quick mind map. Do not go doing things. Mind map as in, when you try to link this from this, for example, A, I have written this, okay, this is because of this is because of this, I get an idea of things. I would be able to relate and learn. So please make mind maps for complicated chapters and visualize your lab experiments. So in lab experiments, some people might not understand why is the color changing like this. So what you can do is watch the videos, and it's not for your practicals I'm telling you, it's for your theory also. In theory also, you know, there are so many yellow boxes here and there telling about so many activities. You should be knowing about activities because these activities gives you questions, especially in chemistry and biology. Okay, so you should be visualizing all these lab experiments. Just go and type in the YouTube channel anywhere, and then you will get this, go through it, you will understand the concept, and you would be able to write and think better also. Okay, now key points to remember in each chapter: chemical reactions and equations, the types of chemical reaction, balancing, corrosion and rusting. From my time onwards, corrosion and rusting is very much important. Even now till date it is important. Okay, metals and non-metals, you have chemical property, physical and chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Extraction of ores is another very important topic. Carbon and its compound, you have IUPAC nomenclature, functional groups, chemical reactions of alkene, homologous series, versatility of carbon. Okay, acid and bases, you have pH scale, reaction of acid and base, indicators, type of salt, different important compounds. So you can take a screenshot of this, or as I said, if you want the PDF, please put it down. Okay, please put it down in the comment section. We would be giving you the PDF. Cool. Now, next thing, for biology, my subject. Okay, so read the summary of the chapter. Okay, at the end of the chapter, you have got the summary. So for that, you just have to, before like after you finish with the chapter, no, just go through the summary. Or if you want to revisit the chapter, start off with the summary and then go ahead with the thing. And watch a one-shot video before reading the chapter. Sometimes biology becomes long and boring, which is why I say put the video on, listen to it. You can watch my videos, I've already put it. If you're not liking my teaching, you can go for other teachers also, but please watch those videos. It would be really helpful for you. Okay, that does not mean you're taking your mobile phone and using it for chatting or sending snaps all around. Please do not do that, children. We have our exams, we know, right? It's a time to study. After 3 months probably you can have jill time and everything. In life, no, every time I'm telling you, okay, every time everyone say that if you do this, then your life would be good. Never it goes like that. But obviously in between difficult times, after difficult times, you get some time for resting and enjoying, and that time would be coming. So as of now, it's your difficult time probably for studying, sitting for long hours, but you have to be there. Cool. Now make mind maps for chapters which you could refer to revision. So as I said, use pointers, that would be the best. Okay, mind maps, again, if you are making it too big mind maps for big chapters, it might be difficult. For chemistry it's fine. For biology, just make pointers, that would be helpful. And also you need writing practice for biology, so do that. Practice diagrams and their labelings, very much important. How can you practice diagrams and their labelings? I told you, for diagrams, no, you should be knowing the outline. For example, I am making the female reproductive system over here. So I made it once, and now I am not going to touch it for some time. Okay, I didn't label it. As of now, I didn't label it. Labeling I'll come and do later. Labeling I'll come and do later. So keep it like that. So in that way you would be able to understand and you would be able to remember the labelings. Okay, that was not really good, which is why I erased. So yes. Now key points to remember in each chapter. For life processes, please practice diagrams, make mind maps of all the processes. I won't say just one single process is important. Sometimes they ask question. For excretion mostly they ask questions. Okay, so sometimes they come talk about digestion. So I'll say for all the processes, have a quick mind map or outline. As I said, outline. Go for outline, and please practice the diagrams. So if you have someone who have attended my on-shot videos or the videos that we are going to post now, you can see that also. In that I'll be telling you the diagrams that are important. Okay, there are certain diagrams we think it's not important, so those are important. I'll be telling you there. For control and coordination, plant hormones, children, please remember the name, auxin, gibberellin, all those things. Tropical movements, your geotropic movements, phototropism, all these things. Okay, functions of each part of the brain, again very much important. What does cerebellum do, posture and things like that, so you should be knowing about that. Heredity, laws of genetics and its example. ABO, blood group. Now this is not given entirely in your NCERT, but this is something that comes. The question is given, but they have not given the explanation, so this comes. Okay, and also there is reptiles, which can sex determination in reptiles and stuff like that. That is also important. Now, how do organisms reproduce? Forms of asexual reproduction, types of pollination, importance of placenta. This is very important question. Contraceptive methods. Again, what is that method that does not allow sexually transmitted disease to pass through? What is that only single contraceptive method? It's the barrier method, no other method. So use of condom prevents that. Okay, now our environment, you have numericals on 10% law. This is very much important. Always there might be questions on biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, as in what is the harmful effects of biodegradable waste. No one thinks of that. Biodegradable waste are actually good, right? But harmful effects, they ask questions on that. And non-biodegradable waste, okay, biomagnification and bioaccumulation, they will ask you why the peak level of organisms has highest amount of toxins and stuff like that. Ozone, they'll ask you how ozone is there, what is the use of ozone, how ozone in the ground level can cause trouble. So ozone at the top is really good, but in the ground level, why is it bad? That can be a question. So all these key points are very much important for biology. Cool. And now when we study biology together, I will be telling you more about it as well. Next thing, have a proper schedule for each subject. So we told the days that we are requiring it. Okay, now we are going to have a proper schedule. So give 2 hours for science each day, where last 30 minutes should be used for question practice. Okay, so you can give 2 hours for science each day, and the last 30 minutes can be used for question practice. According to your will, you can change the timings, children, but whatever you have chosen, you have to tell me. Today is the day, you have to make a plan, you have to tell me. Okay, sorry, if you think that you are good at social science, if you think that you are good at science and you are not that great at social science, you can give more time to it as well, but you have to tell me. That should be the deal. Okay, so the chapter names, assuming we are giving 2 hours. In week 1, I am going to complete physics 1 chapter, which requires 3 days, and chemistry 1 chapter, metals and non-metals, for 2 days. So in a way, 5 days only I am requiring in a week for that. Okay, again in week 2, I have life processes and electricity, 3 days and 2 days. Okay, so physics, okay. Now biology, again control and coordination 3 days, chemistry, chemical reactions and equation 3 days. 6 days I am requiring over here. Then week 4, I have magnetic effects of current 2 days, carbon and its compound 3 days. Okay, 5 days. So don't think like, okay, if within 5 days so I have ma'am have given 1 week. No. This date that I have required, that I have written over here, is the only time that you require for completing the chapter. So please focus on that. Okay, so this is how I have segregated. You can use your time, your knowledge, and you can change things, but this is what I suggest. Okay, next thing, you have December. In December, you have these many things: heredity 2 days, acid, base and salt 3 days, week 1. How do organisms reproduce 2 days, the human eye and colorful world 2 days, our environment week 3. In week 3, I have just put our environment. What happened to me? That just takes 1 day. So you have some other time left as well, so you can use those weeks. Your whole week, just 1 day of your week is being required for our environment. Rest of the week is still left. You can use it for revision, you can use it for your social science or your mathematics, whatever you want, but you can use it for that. But I'll recommend only after what do you have to do, children? You have to make sure you are studying through the chapter, you are practicing questions enough. Okay, you are writing, you are maintaining that question book. If you're done with everything, you're confident, then move to the next subject that you're having. Well, you should be having equal priority. I'm just asking you for 2 hours. I'm just asking you for 2 hours. That 2 hours you can utilize it any day. Okay, you can study alternatively also if you want, but anyways, you have to utilize 2 hours whenever you are studying and do the things properly. Cool. It's a practical thing. It's not something that is not practical. You can do it. Now, for January, the pre-boards are there, the Sawadya ones. So I'd say revise regularly by solving questions and giving mock tests. Okay, this is very much important. This time, do not rely on outline of things and things like that. Take the question paper down. Try solving questions. And one more very important thing, when I was saying that you should be trying questions, don't think that I do not know the whole chapter, so how can I practice questions? It's okay. Go through the question paper. It will take you 5 minutes time to go through the question paper, mark the questions that is from the chapter that you are studying as of now. Pick those questions and do it. Do not think that I will wait for the whole chapters to get completed and then only I'll practice questions. That's a very wrong decision, my dear children. You won't get enough time then. Use that time now. You will get an idea of what type of questions come. And the best thing that I'll recommend is, even before you start the question, even before you start the paper, before you start the NCERT reading, the thing that you can do is, after one shot, you saw the one shot, or if you have not seen the one shot, open the sample paper, or open the previous year question paper. Previous year question paper. Look for the questions that have come from this chapter. You would identify the questions that have come from this chapter. At least until now you have studied something, no? Okay, now you got an idea of what type of questions come. Now you read your NCERT. You will feel confident, children. I'm telling you, you will feel 100% confident while doing this. Okay, now this is for the last month, that is January, where I am asking you, you read your NCERT, you were pro with it, you have made your notes, you have solved the questions later on, you did everything. Now this time is for regularly practice more and more questions from your sample question papers. Okay, if you have chosen previous year question papers first, then now it's time for solving sample question papers. Okay, try solving them, give mock test for a regular period of time, and this will give you good writing practice as well. Cool? Will you be able to do this, student? Please do this. And remember the book that we had, from there also you can pick questions. Cool? Now, the common mistakes that you should be avoiding during practice and the exam. First is skipping diagrams and the labels. So not drawing or labeling diagrams, especially in biology, can lose easy marks. So please do not do that. You have to draw it, you have to label it properly. Okay, do not be Pablo Picasso over there. I call myself Pablo Picasso, but I'm really bad at it. Okay, the students who have been there with me, oh, I miss them, they know it really well. So yes, anyways, you should be knowing how to draw properly and also label properly. Next thing, neglecting units in answers. So physics and chemistry answers need correct units, meters, grams, whatever. So missing these might lead to point deduction. So please do not do that. Make sure whenever you're writing answers, write it with the units. Not reading questions carefully. Now that is one very important thing. So children know they're scared. They get panicked of the paper. They do not read the entire question and they just start writing. Sometimes there might be a flip question on the other, there might be another question on the flip side, and there might be an or thing. So they might go attempting both of them, or they might just skip one of them. So do not do that. That is also a big problem. So misunderstanding questions or missing keywords like explain or compare often leads to incomplete and off-topic answers. So please look for the keywords. Okay, they are asking you for the wrong statement, you are looking for the right statement. That also brings a huge lot of trouble. So please do not do that. So these are the common mistakes that you should be avoiding in any subjects, but these are specifically for science. Works? So that's all, my dear children. Again, I am telling you, if you are someone who is confused regarding your career choices after 10th, then you can go for DSAT. Okay, the link will be given in the description box. You can just go click on that, and also the question paper will be provided to you. The link for the question paper, remember the sample question paper by CBSE, that also we would provide you. Just click on that for downloading the question papers. Cool? Now, if you think that this particular video was helpful for you, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to our channel and also put down comments and tell me that we are in this race. And remember, from tomorrow we are starting, and it might be probably chemistry. So all the chemistry fans assemble. Okay, so that's all, my dear children, and I wish you all the best. Stay blessed and be happy.